added a couple sections of callouts already, but let's make it official. Under models, I'm going to go open, browse to chapter 9, open up structure 47, click open. Looking pretty good. Let's go down to level 1. Zoom into here. Let's click on this section button. Let's pick a point right here, and I'm going to cut a section right through my elevator pit. Zoom out. I'm going to pull the section back in just so we can see just beyond it. So those columns, I'm going to pull this over here, hit escape a couple times. Now to avoid confusion, I'm going to select my section marker. I'm going to click on this little gaps and segments icon here. Notice that I can pull this out a little bit. I can pull that out a little bit. If I click this will actually recycle between a tail, nothing, and another bubble. Hit escape a couple times. Let's open up that section. You can see stuff beyond, so our floor slab kind of stops below it, which it really should not do. That's okay. At least now we cut the section, we can see that. Let's set our detail level to 5. And all the stuff's hidden behind it. All the way up to our sloped roof. Pretty cool. Now, let's scroll down till we find sections. Let's click on section 3 and click it again. Call it elevator shaft section. Did I enter? Good. Still click on section 1. Then delete it. Right click, delete. And OK. Notice that section 1 callout one got deleted as well. So I'll click on section 2. That's our stairs. I'm going to right click this and delete it. So now all we have are 2 sections that we care about. Perfect. Let's go back down to level 2. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to cut a section. I'm going to click on section. I'm going to cut it right here to here. And again, I'm going to come all the way down to the end, and I'm going to pull this back so it's here. I'm going to hit escape a couple times. I'm going to open the section up. Let's check something out. Let's set our detail level to 5. But notice that it goes all the way up to level 5. So if I double click on level 5, it should be visible. But Revit is very literal in how it sees sections. So let's go back to that section. I'm going to select this crop region. I'm going to pull it down till it gets to level 2. I'm going to pull this up till it gets to level 2. Let's go back to level 5. Notice that it's gone. It's gone in level 4. It's gone in level 3. But in level 2, it's going to be there. In level 1, it's not going to be there. Up in here. Right. So that's kind of cool how that works. I'm going to go to level 2. I'm going to double click this section and open it up. Instead of an 1/8 inch equals a foot, I want to make it 3/4 of an inch equals a foot. Let's rename it. So let's scroll down to the view name instead of section 1. All caps, we'll call it typical framing section. Hit enter. Now notice that I can select this box. And there's 2 little marks here where I can cut that out. But I want to show you something. Click on the dimension button. Dimension from A to B and bring that dimension down. 16 foot 1 3/4. Now, if I want to show both of these ends, but it's way too long to fit on a sheet at this ridiculously large scale, I can chop it and move it down. So if I select this crop region, and I click on this button, it puts a break in it. Now if I select this little icon here and I drag it down, okay, it keeps the correct dimension. Pretty cool, huh? You can drag that up a little bit, drag it down a little bit, drag it in. I can hit escape. I can even come down here and click hide crop region. I want to move my 16-foot dimension up. And in the next video, we're going to look at how we can bring in detail components and put break lines here. You can skip a couple of times. So there you go. That's how you create sections. We did a lot of callouts, so I don't think we need to go through that. Let's make sure we're in this typical framing section. Now I want to zoom into this area here and select this beam. Let's unpin it. Now notice we can grab this little grip and drag this in right till it hits the middle of that beam. Hit escape a couple times. Go to the Modify tab and click the Culp button. Now down here, Revit's going to say first pick, select element to be culped. I'm going to select my beam here. Then I'm going to select this beam here. Bingo, and it culps it out. Now I'm not a huge fan of that. So let's look at another way we can do it. Let's come down to this side. Let's select this beam. It's already unpinned, so we can pull it into this beam. Escape. Now instead of copying it, let's go to the Structure tab. Let's click Opening by Face. So click Opening by Face. Now Revit wants us to select a planar face of roof, floor, ceiling, beam, or column. So I'm going to hover over this right here and see that big green line. Pick it. Now we can sketch in how we want this cope to look. So I'm going to pick a point here. Yeah, here, come down to here. Pick a point here. Now to here. And I'm going to come down to here. Here. So we're just going to outline exactly where we want it gone. It'd be a waste of time if I just left this kind of shape. So on the Draw panel, click on the Fillet arc and click Radius. Type in 0.75 inches. Now pick this line here and then this line here. Looks funny now, but it'll look good when it's done. Click Finish. It's going to say it's partially cut, but it's fully cut. Click the X here. That's how you do it. Pretty cool, right? That's how we cope a beam. Let's make sure in the typical framing section. Let's go to the Annotate tab. Let's click Component. Now let's click on Load Family. I'm not sure where we are here, but let's go to US Imperial. Let's go to Detail Items, Division 1 General. Let's grab that break line. Let's open that up. Now check it out. Hit your spacebar once. I'm going to put this right as close as I can to this. Whoops, it kind of spazzed out, but I got it in the wrong orientation. So I'm going to select that break line. I'm going to hit my spacebar twice. Hit escape. Now I'm going to select it, right click, create similar. I'm going to hit my spacebar once, and I'm going to line it up. There we go. It's a little bit too far in, so I'm going to nudge it out like that. There we go. Now I'm going to select this one here. I'm going to click copy. I'm going to copy it down to the end here. Hit escape. Cool. At level 2, I'm just going to drag that out of there so it doesn't show up in the middle. And look, it's copy monitored. Drag it out to there. Perfect. I am now going to bring in a clip angle. So I'm going to go to the Annotate tab again. Component. Load Family. Let me just go up one rung out of here. I'm going to go to Metals. I'm going to go to Common look results for metals. I'm going to go to metal fastenings. I'm going to scroll down and find the clip angle that I want. Let's see here. L angle bolted. Let's go with 3. L angle bolted connection 3 elevation. Let's click open. Now I'm going to align that with the center line here, and I'm going to put it right there. Now, this is still parametric, so I can select this. It says 3, so let's make it 3. So let's click on edit type right here. For the number of bolts, I want to say 3 and hit enter. Click apply, click OK. Here we go. Now what I'd like to do is on the view tab, I'm going to click on show hidden lines. So click show hidden lines. So I'm going to select my clip angle. I'm going to select my beam. I'm going to hit escape. It's going to show my hidden lines to my beam. So that's it. That's how you bring in detailed components. What we need to do is make a drafting view. So go to view and click on this icon here. It's called drafting view. For the name, we'll call it edge beam. We'll keep the scale at 1.5 inches equals a foot. We'll click OK. Now this is a blank canvas. We can just start drawing stuff in here, or more popularly, we can bring in AutoCAD. Let's go to Insert. Let's click on Import CAD. Browse where you keep your exercise files. I'm going to grab typical perimeter beam section. On here, I'm going to say colors black and white. I like to select visible from my layers or levels. Import units, I'm going to auto detect. Center to center works very nicely. I'm going to click open. Double click your wheel button. Now, check it out. Okay, all right. So what we can do is we can select this. Now we can select query and select any kind of item we want in this detail and see what it is. So I'm going to pick that. It's a line, you know that, layer level A floor. Close out of here, select your structure as beam. Okay. As grid ident, hit OK. Now again, if we select something like this, a detail, we can delete that or hide it in the view, which is kind of neat. Hit escape a couple times. If you type in VG for visibility graphics, notice that we've got imported categories. Here's that detail. Here's all the layers that came from AutoCAD. We can turn them off. We can override them. So instead of exploding the thing, which we can do, try to make it so you don't have to. That way you're not bringing all of the information in. Let's open up our typical framing section. Then we're scrolling to here. I'm going to start adding some text. We can do that by clicking the text icon here, or we can go to the Annotate tab where we just were and click on the A here, same thing. So if I click this here, now in my properties, I'm going to click my drop down. I want to make sure we have 330 seconds aerial. Click that. Now I'd like to click edit type for my text. And for the leader arrowhead, I'm not a big fan of the default, so I'll click the drop down here and let's go arrow filled 15 degree. I like my width factor to be 0.8. Then I click OK. Now, what I'd like to do is you see the little A with the little 2-segment arrow? I'd like to click to the top, leader at top right. There we go. I'm going to pick a point here, pick a point here, pull it up to here, make sure my caps are turned on. I'm going to call it 6-inch concrete slab. Now notice while I'm typing, I get all these little choices here. Right? So if I want to hit my enter button, I'm just gonna go down a line, and I can now make a bullet list. I can say C arch for finish. I can click off of it. And there we go. It's not the cleanest looking, but if I select it, I can justify it, right? Kind of like that. You wouldn't really have a bullet in there like that, but that's kind of how the text works. And remember, if I click on this little add left side straight or add right side, I can click that. And I can kind of angle that down in there like that. Now if I double click in here, edit the text, hit my backspace, click off of it, looks a little better. I know that was quick, but text has gotten a lot better in Revit. Let's go to level 2. I'd like to add a continuous dimension string across these dimensions. So click on the dimension button right here, align the dimension. Now, select this column 1 and keep going to the right. Select number 2. Don't pause, don't hit escape, just keep going. 4, 5, 6, and then to 7. Now to place this dimension, we're just going to pick a point off of it like right here. This is bothering me, so I'm going to select a section marker and just kind of pull that up. Let's click dimension again. I'm going to select 1, 7. Pull that up a little bit like that. Escape. It's not the best dimension ever, but we can pull that over like that. There we go. Let's zoom into this area here. Click on the Annotate tab. Let's click on Radial. I'm going to grab that column line. Pick a point there. We can move our text out like that. Let's go ahead and click on Angular. Let's pick a point here. Pick a point here. 45 degrees. Escape a couple times. Let's go down to sections. Let's go to our typical framing section. Now click on your align dimension here. Notice that we can dimension pretty much everything. And of course, we had just dimensioned that. I dimension the front to here. Remember, we made that 4-inch cantilever. There it is. Of course, that's pretty ugly looking now, so I can move that down a little bit out of the way and escape. There you go. That's how you add dimensions.